Hey everybody, Andy Kennedy here, and I am so excited because today is day 1 of 60 days. And even just saying that, I feel the trepidation of doing this for 60 days and that commitment that it's going to take me to do that. But really excited because this is called Toxic Truths, 60 Days to Purging the Poisons. And it's a challenge for myself to go live every single day to talk about those poisons. And so I want to start with kind of how this idea all got started. And these are going to be very quick lives. So I'm going to stick to as short of a time as I can, like 3 to 5 to maybe 7 minutes today, a little bit longer today, just because I'm doing my why. But then after today, some of them will be a little bit shorter. So it's 6 weeks or 8 weeks, 60 days, breaking that into 4 sections. Nutrition for the first one, which is food systems and kind of what we do internally. Then the second 2 weeks are going to be external. So our body, our epidermis, we're going to read the label. We're going to look at, lotions and things like that. The third section, the third 2 weeks are going to be on the mind, the mindset, our mental game, and what we put into the brain, and kind of our mental surroundings as well. And then the last one is about the home, which is the things we buy for the home, our pets, home environments. So like very in depth. And how this started was I was at a level up event in Las Vegas a couple of weeks ago, and one of our awesome partners and peers in our healthy living community and partners in that mission with us challenged us to do a social media challenge. So I'm doing this live on Facebook and on YouTube at the same time. So that way, if you're on either platform, you can watch these. And then I will also have a group on Facebook. So if you want more resources per each topic every single day, you can go to that Facebook group. The link is going to be below the videos every single time. So you'll have that. And then also, I will post some of that stuff to email. So you can join our email list and get some of that information through email as well, if you don't want to do Facebook. So that's the setup for that. And then my story is, I'm starting to think, I'm 50. So I was 17 when I read the book Fit for Life. And it really changed my mindset about what I was putting inside my body. And for me, I was trying to think this morning on why did I even read that book? I don't even remember where I heard about it or got it, who I got it from. And I remember having issues with dairy. And I believe that's what led me into that book, because the book is heavily focused on the food systems. And back then, this is, early 90s, late 80s, the 89, 90 is when I was 17. So 90, 91 even. So going into thinking about what time period that was and what we were talking about back then, and really still very basic back then about gluten and dairy and the food allergies that we have and the systems that we have right now, right? So I was reading Fit for Life and I was thinking, oh my gosh, there's this whole area of focus that I've never even thought about. Never, we ate pretty natural in my house, but we also ate some toxic things. Oreos were a big crutch of me. Sugar, for sure. I was addicted to sugar, and I had an addiction for sugar for a long time, even after that. But reading Fit for Life pivoted me and set me into, from there, studying macrobiotics, studying Ayurveda and Ayurvedic medicine, and then studying herbalism. And so it was really a pivotal point for me. And then fast forward over the next 30 years, which a little bit of each video I'll probably talk about when I made this shift to think about that particular poison. Because what this is not, is I don't want this to be 60-day run for you to cut out all of these toxins, right? Really, it's just a snippet of each area of focus that you can go, am I above the line or below the line on this one? Am I 80% of the time listening to this, concept and avoiding this toxin, or do I even know about it at all? Because a lot of times there will be blind sites, right? We all have blinders on certain things. And so for me, uncovering each of those things was not a 60-day run. It was, over the last 30 plus years. So and where I come from now is that place of, the 80-20 rule, right? Of focusing on, okay, 80% of the time, if I'm good on this topic, and I know, for instance, for me, that gluten is going to have an inflammatory response in my body, then I'm if I can avoid it, I'm going to avoid it because I don't want that inflammation. But if I can't avoid it, or if I currently am having a craving and I don't want to avoid it, right, then 20% of the time, or even less, 5% of the time is not bad, right? That's not a bad thing to have inside of your body, and then be able to have the tools to flush that toxin or that thing that doesn't agree with your body. Maybe gluten isn't a toxin per se, but what we spray on our wheat in the United States, for instance, and that's a whole nother day talking about gluten, is toxic, right? We know that. We know that we spray things on our food in this country that we shouldn't be eating. And we know that the things that we put in our water to purify it, we shouldn't be drinking. And we know that the soil is depleted. And we know that we're, constantly bombarded with negative news. And we know that, all of these little things can lead up to stress and anxiety and the endocrine system breaking down, right? So my why for doing this 60 days is to educate and inspire, and also just bring this to light. Like, let's just have these conversations, because we don't have these conversations enough. I feel like most people just sweep it under the rug, and if I don't feel great, I don't feel great. Well, that catches up to you in your 50s, may even catch up to you in your 40s and 30s now, because there's a more toxic load that we're dealing with than we were dealing with 20 or 30 or 40 years ago. So, and then of course, I always tie it back to whole food concentrates, because I know that if I'm eating that and I'm flooding my body with whole food concentrates all of the time, then I'm doing a good job at purging and flushing the toxins, right? So anyway, that's my story. That's why I'm doing this. Follow along for 60 days, or tune me out if you don't want to follow along. But if you want the extra resources, join the Facebook group, because I'm going to put a lot of resources in there. And I'm just excited about just having this discussion and what kind of comments I get below. So if you have a story around, for instance, today, that book Fit for Life, and macrobiotics or probiotics or Ayurveda, or any of the things that maybe I mention in each video, then comment below, because I want this to be a conversation, and I really want to hear everybody's story around maybe what has led them to also purge the poisons and speak up about the toxic truths in our lives, in our environment, in our world right now. So thanks for watching, everybody, and we'll see you tomorrow.